Welcome to Herbie at Heart, where herbalism grows in the roots of our hearts, an intrinsic journey where we dwell on the deep and expand the narrow. Starring your favourite herbalist Tash from Avant Garden Life and Philip from Power Plants Berlin. One plant, one show, and the interview with a person who represents a part of the plant.
That's what we are, Herbie at Heart. Today we dive into the lush aromatic world of the wild garlic, known as bear's leek or ramsons, in Latin Allium ursinum. We will also look at its notoriously famous cousin that people tend to mistake as the wild garlic here in Berlin, the widely famous few-flowered leek, aka wunderlauch, as we know it here in German, Allium paradoxum. Very, very beautiful plant. Everybody who walks in planter world will know it and its smell. We have the pleasure of interviewing Olga Graf today for this episode. She has the spirit of a Siberian bear and the energy of wild garlic that we're talking about today. Yeah, when spring whispers through the forest floor and a strong garlicky scent fills the air, it's the sign the bear plant has returned. Growing in rich green carpets beneath trees, wild garlic is among the first plants to awaken in early spring, and the forest answers with a vibrant living aroma. Its star-shaped white flowers light up the woods like little constellations, attracting bees, flies, and humble pollinators alike. But wild garlic is more than a seasonal green. It carries stories, healing powers, and even the echo of old gods and forest spirits. From the way ants help spread its seeds to the belief that the bears eat it to regain their strength after hibernation, this is a plant rooted in both nature and myth. So, let's explore its name, its uses, and the deep ancient wisdom it brings with every leaf. And before we do that, as always, we're going to start with a song. And this first song of today is a weird little track from, I think, Swiss artists from, 70s, 80s. Nobody knows.
So long ago.
Except you look it up, then you will know. So here's Sandra Kreisler and Roger Stein with Bärlauchzeit.
Thank you, Philip, for that little bit of silliness.
You're very welcome.
Bärlauch, Bärlauch, Bärlauch. That is the German name for wild garlic. Yes, as we like to do here on this radio show, we like to talk about how we use it, how we experience it, how we play with it. So we're going to start today with talking a little bit about entering the forests when the Bärlauch or the wild garlic grows, and entering a forest when the wunderlauch, the few-flowered leek, grows. Yeah, so I got to experience both of them this year. The thing here up in Berlin is Bärlauch or wild garlic doesn't. I personally haven't found large forests of it here around Brandenburg. I would say it's too sandy here. The climate's not great for it. But what you do find here is the few-flowered leek. But this year I got to go down south in the time that it's growing, and I found a forest, well, the forest found me, I have to say, where it was growing. And it was one of the first times since I've lived in Germany that I've been in the south when it's growing. So I got to experience the difference between a forest of wild garlic here in Germany. I have been in other places where I've found the wild garlic, but here within Germany, where it is so deeply embedded in the tradition, the wild garlic. So I got to experience these two forests, because in Berlin it just grows rampantly, the few-flowered leek. And the vibes of these forests with the two different plants, which are actually cousins, is quite extraordinary. I really was quite taken back how different they are in so many ways. Like, it's almost like they were almost cousins, yes, by the smell and some sort of essences, but they look different. The forest smells different. The forest itself is almost different. It's almost like the wild garlic was much more fairy-like There was something very ethereal and fairy about it. I can't even describe it. It just felt more like you entered another world when you walked into this. Maybe the actual forest where I was also slightly like that. But and it's much more softer. The green is much like, it's not as bright. It's very, for that time of year, for spring, it's not a very bright green. It's almost like a matty kind of darker green for spring. And when you enter this few-flowered leek forests, where it's like a carpet of fluoro green. It's like completely different, even the colors. And I found the few-flavored leek a much stronger smell. When you can smell it almost like a deeper, there was more depth to the smell, where the wild garlic was much lighter. It was almost like little whispers along the wind, sort of like these. Yeah, it was I found it very quite extraordinary to experience them both in very short time, because I collected the wild garlic, and then a few days later I went into a forest where there was the few-flowered leek. I'm about to sneeze. No, it didn't come. And yeah, it was sort of quite extraordinary. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with our audience.
Do you think the intensity comes because of the mass of the plant? Because the few-flower leek, it's like, as you said, it's a carpet. And normally the wild garlic, there are like little fields, but not as much as the few-flowered garlic.
Yeah, it could be something like this. They also were, I would say the few-flowered leek comes a bit earlier.
Yeah.
And it was almost more advanced than the wild garlic that I found. So it was still quite young when I found the wild garlic. And I would say once it starts flowering and it's bigger leaves, it gets much stronger.
Yeah, it's my impression also. Yeah.
That would have been a big thing. But it was more the energy I found very interesting of the two different, the way that the vibe the plants gave off. Because I know few-flowered leek so well, or wunderlauch, which we can also use here, because actually all English speakers know wunderlauch more than they know few-flowered leek.
You mean
as the name?
Okay.
Even here in Berlin, or Berliner Bärlauch, as
Berliner
a lot of
Bärlauch,
people call it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. I was quite blown away. That's, I think, why I want to share it on our show, how different the plants were energetically, without even trying them, just sensing them, then even though they do very similar things when using them, or so people say.
So people say. So let's stick to that level of esoteric vibes. So why do you think Berlin cannot handle the energy of the real wild garlic?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if, Berlin's rougher, as we know. It's a workers' city. It's got this real vibe here. And actually, the wunderlauch has that vibe. It's very like kind of tough and rough. And when you pick it, you feel like you can take almost like handfuls of it, and it doesn't feel so disturbed, and you don't have to be as delicate around it.
No, definitely not.
You can be quite rough.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying you should ever be rough picking plants, but this is kind of the vibe I get from it. Whereas when you're in a wild garlic area, it's like you almost pick each leaf singularly and look at it and stroke it. It needs more of a delicate touch.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you shouldn't trample it. You should be careful with the root system and everything. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And I wonder if that's a bit the reflection here.
It's true. When I go to Planterwald or somewhere to collect a few followed leek or Wunderlauch, it's like you take and you take and you take, and it's like there's so much that there's no feeling that you would actually take something away. So it's like as you said, you don't need to be delicate, and there's like it provides whole Berlin, I would say. Like,
yeah, it's very, and whole Berlin should be eating it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's such a wonderful plant.
It is. Yeah.
So that was sort of my experience with it. And one other little experience I had is it was funny. I had two people who had coughs, and I recommended them to get the Berlin, the actual wild garlic, a tincture to use with some other tinctures. And it was quite extraordinary how it helped this weird cough that was going around. It seemed like everyone had this sort of weird cough that didn't really go. I think people were calling it the 100-day cough. And it seemed to really soften it. And yeah, there was great stuff by using it in that way.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it is great medicine, and it is there at the moment. And it's always a good idea to look what's growing outside.
What's blowing?
What's blowing?
Blowing in the wind.
It was a Freudian slip. What's growing outside, and look outside in your garden or in the forests, because the plants are there to help. There's a level of attraction that always seems to work, apparently. My garlic or wild garlic dealer is my grandma. She has a garden.
The wild garlic dealer. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
You buy 100 grams of wild garlic, which is basically 20 flowers for €5 at the bio shop. Come on, this is ridiculous.
That's true.
Just go out and pick it yourself. And I know a few spots here in Berlin, actually, where you can find the real Allium ursinum. I won't tell you.
We never tell our secrets.
No. And they're really small. So I go there maybe once in a year and take a handful, because it's growing, not really growing around here. But at my grandma's garden in Bavaria, it's like spreading like a disease. It's really like Unkraut. It's not really Unkraut, since it's only growing for 1 month. So it's completely disappearing. So it's not a problem for all the other plants around also. And of course, it's beautiful, because we can just go in and collect and make pesto and medicine and tinctures and whatever you want to do with that. Yeah.
I think when you talk to people here in Berlin, most Germans have a dealer.
Yes.
Have a wild garlic dealer.
Of course.
It is often the grandma, isn't it? The grandma or the parents or a cousin.
The thing is with wild garlic, once you have planted it in your garden, it will just grow and grow and grow every year further and more. So I think if you have a little garden or even a Schrebergarten, it is a nice idea to start growing it, throw out some seeds, plant it, and the next year you can provide basically your whole family, which is always a good thing. Again, be careful outside, because there is the chance of, if you really have no clue what you're doing, to mistake it. Is that what I say?
You mistake it? Yeah.
Mistake it for Kolchium, which is the Herbstzeitlose, very, very poisonous plants, or the Maiglöckchen. They kind of look similar. If you really know what you're doing, they really don't look similar. But just be careful and get in contact with the plant first. Inform yourself about the differences of these 3 plants, because every year there's a family dying in Germany because they're picking wild garlic and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, when in doubt, just smell the leaves, break them and smell each leaf.
The problem with that is, once you have gathered, in the beginning that works, but once you have gathered for 20 minutes, your hands are smelling like wild garlic.
Oh, no, I mean when you prepare it. Once you're home,
yeah.
I've often told people, if you really then just break each leaf. And it is true, once you've smelled a few leaves, then you start to lose the sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. But they do look different. You just get good at identification is always key. Always be 200% if you're collecting anything.
Yeah. Watch a YouTube video. There's a lot of videos where they explain it very detailed, which are the differences, and you will understand that quite easily. Yeah. So I have been taking the Allium ursinum, because I did a tincture from last year, and I really like it. I mean, I'm eating white garlic as much as I can at the moment, because this is like Germans with their Spargel. Is it Sperrlauchzeit? So let's dig into it.
Yeah, I've been eating a lot of the few-flowered leek, the wunderlauch.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Massive amounts.
Nice.
It's funny though with these plants, because now it's going to seed. Now, because I just went out to collect some, because the seeds you can use the whole plant. That now my system, very interesting. I noticed it this morning, because I've been eating it a lot, making not a pesto, but just grinding it up with some lemon and then putting it on bread with everything. And what I've found is today was the first day, and it started seeding, I think last week, is that my system's like, oh, that's enough.
Ah, interesting.
So right in tune with It's not ready to pick anymore. I'm a bit upturned. So upturned. I was like, oh, I couldn't eat it.
Okay, interesting. For me, it's quite the difference. My system is really starting like, yes. I mean, I had 10 days of holiday behind me, so I did a lot of eating and like drinking. So it is amazing for your gut to do like a little spring cure. It's amazing for your biome. Even working with the tincture has a beautiful healing properties that we're going to talk about also.
The detox properties, nice sort of blood.
Should we talk a little bit about the plant and the name and where it's coming from? Do you want to start or should I?
Well, you start. You start.
I start. Okay. So I am talking mostly about the Bärlauch, the Allium ursinum, because for me, I kind of prefer it because it's the one that I grew up with when I was a child. In Bavaria, we don't have the paradoxum, the wunderlauch, just doesn't grow there. And when the Berliners told me about their Bärlauch, I was quite confused in the beginning because for me, it doesn't have the same strength and aroma and like intenseness. And there's a reason for it that we can find already in the name. The Allium ursinum, it has the name of the bear in it. And the bear from mythology, he's the protector of the forest. It's one of the most powerful guiding animals for shamans that you can have, like the berserker. They turn into bears. Every plant that has a bear in their name, they have very, very strong abilities and magic abilities also. The bear lap, the Lycopodium clavatum, for example, or the other one that I just forgot that you use for diabetes. They have the magic inside, like they collected the spores to create fireworks and this kind of thing. So whenever there's bear in the name of the plant, we know it has special abilities. And of course, so does bear's leek or ramsons, as we also call it in the English-speaking circles. Wild garlic, bear's leek, ramsons. Even in German, there's in dialect, we call it ramsen, ramsch, remschelin, aglio ursino in Italian, ail de ours in français. So the bear is going through the countries, and they have this relation to the plant. And one story behind it is when the bear comes out of hibernation and they're super tired and they need to get their shit out because they have like they call it pech, I think. It's like
pech.
Yeah, it's like the shit that gathers inside their intestines for like the whole winter.
Yeah.
So they really need to get their stuff out. So they're starting to eat a lot of stuff and also a lot of bear's leek apparently. And they're getting their energy back, the spring energy, and it really is amazing for their digestion. So they start to activate their digestion properly.
Like excrete the
and
toxins, and whatever
everything.
The build-up of
exactly
stagnation.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the first poop of a baby,
Yeah.
And they just have it every year. And that is a sign for us how we can also use it. It's an amazing plant for digestion. There's studies on it that it's really great for your biome. It has very strong antibacterial properties. The allicin that is inside, even on a dilution from 1 to 100,000, it is so strong that it kills a lot of bacteria that are bad for us. And the beautiful part with bear leeks is that you can use it without destroying bacteria in our body that are bad for us, for our digestion. So it really fits to the style of health being on vogue with your health,
like gut
intestine
health,
biomes, gut health, leaky gut, and all these things. It's an amazing plant to use it. Just make a tincture. We're going to talk about it later, how to do that and use that for a while, and your gut will be very, very healthy.
I mean, how have you found it? If you've been taking the tincture, how have you found it on your gut? What has been your personal experience with your gut health?
My shit's great at the moment. So, and I do have a little bit of intestine issues from time to time. And in the beginning of the year, I started with bear leek in January, and it was way too early. And my gut was like, no fucking way. So I suggest to really wait when it's growing or blooming outside, or it starts. So like March, beginning of March, then starting to take the tincture.
Yeah, that would fit a lot with, because our body's still in hibernation in January. We actually, it's too cold to be be moving our system then too much.
Yeah, it's against natural rhythm, at least for now. This might change in the next decades, but for now, yeah. So I would use it when the spring energy is coming, and now, for me, it's going amazing, I have to say. I really like the energy of the plant. I love that you're not smelling so strong like you do from garlic. You have this particular smell, but it's like not as I mean, you love garlic, but for me,
I'm a garlic fanatic.
It can be a little bit hardcore.
Yeah, but you're right. It's very, a bit like the forest when I walked in there, ethereal. It's sort of, it tastes so strong, but then it goes quite quick, these kind of odors. It's a lot of spring plants are like this. They're also like the violet, you pick that and then you have to eat it almost straight away. It just fades so quick that the essences are they're very powerful, but they're very...
Yeah, it's true.
Ethereal. Yeah, etheric is such a good word for spring plants.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So... yeah, we know it as a plant for detoxifying. We know it as a plant for digestion, eliminating winter wastes, getting rid of old energies and getting into our life force, reconnecting with our life force. And that's how I would suggest using it. I don't think I would describe it in a tea because it's too strong and I haven't tried it yet.
I don't think it would dry very well.
No, I think so.
I've never tried drying it, but...
Me neither, but I guess the it's so etheric that a lot of the contents would get
it's got a lot of volatile oils, exactly. And so that would just... I know with the wunderlauch, if after like a few days it starts to become weaker, you can smell it. It's not as strong anymore, and it keeps quite well actually. So does wild garlic, especially in the fridge. It actually keeps for quite a fair amount of time. It's not like one day and then it's not good anymore, but everything starts to go less and less and less, and then it becomes a bit like a leaf, the wild garlicness goes.
Yeah, and it's already shown in its own signature how it's popping up. It's only there for 1 month of the year.
Yeah.
It's literally popping up to show us, now it's time to use me. So let's freaking use it.
Yeah.
It is there to get back in this exact same energy of spring. It is connected, like the bear is connected to Dona or Thor. So it's like Thursday or in that kind of region. So it's a lot of connected with strong energies, revitalization, vitality, fertility, renewal. That's the idea of the plant. Yeah.
I guess the detoxification movement. That's all these spring herbs, but this is a really good one. And the wunderlauch, just to use for a period when it's growing, to get not just your gut going, also the blood moving, the system just back on track in a way, and also a bit blood cleansing in a way, just sort of moving the toxins. All the alliums are quite good for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Drawing, I think, I know onion is great for that, like this really drawing action of drawing like toxins out of your system. It's such a great herb for like coughs and that, to draw and to help the mucus move. And
yeah, it's true. Or like how you use an onion for ear infection. It draws out all that shit, bacterial pus that is inside your ear. Maybe it is interesting to talk that the Allium ursum is connected to the Allium family, to normal garlic family, and a lot of the ingredients, contents in the pharmacology of the plant, they're similar, not the same. And since it's something that is common to this area, I often would recommend using the plant that's natural to the area here, because the Allium cepa, the normal garlic, it was brought to Europe in that sense. So it's nothing that is really coming from the area here. We had this thing Knoblauchsrauke, but in the last centuries,
the garlic mustard.
Yeah, garlic mustard. Now we are having the real garlic. So Allium ursum is a great way to get into doing a spring cure, and I would recommend it to normal garlic for me at least.
It's a lot softer.
You think?
The wild garlic?
Yeah?
I think it's a lot because I did remember when we had, did you do that as well? That like cure, that thing of where it was like the lemon with the garlic and then you plant it and then you take it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, lemon garlic.
Garlic, like a juice sort of thing that you made, that you extracted and then you took it. And I did it. I think you did it 3 weeks and then you had a break and then you did it 3 weeks again because I just wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
And I found the effects of that so much more hardcore.
Yeah, I agree.
Than like eating, I don't know, the wunderlauch or the wild garlic every day.
Yeah.
And I'm not eating small amounts. I'm eating like sometimes in 2 different meals a day. So much more softer on the system. It's still super powerful, but in a good, like, garlic, that garlic
More
thing was a bit too
way,
much.
Right? Yeah, it's too much. So I agree. Yeah, it's the same thing that I had in mind. Like this is a very nice cure. You basically mix like 5 garlic cloves with 5 lemons, bio lemons, including the skin, put it in a mixer and a little bit of water, and then you drink it over like a few weeks.
I think you had to cook it, didn't you, I can't remember the exact recipe now.
I don't think so, but anyway, like, yeah. So, and that's hardcore. Yeah. So I would just use what's around. Use what's going
I agree.
on. Yeah.
We are on this show a massive fan of that.
Yeah.
Do we have a little more time, or should we have
we can play
have a little bit song? Should we have a song?
A song in between before we go into the pharmacology and stuff?
Yeah, I'm easy.
I know. Okay. How about?
So do all the boys say.
Okay, just leave it like that. How about we're gonna play your song, "The Savage Daughter"?
Yes.
You want to say something about that?
Yeah, so this song actually has been coming up for me quite a lot lately. I mean, I've known it for a while. And then I was looking for a song and I thought, wow, this fits so much with this idea of like wild garlic, this very old herb which has been used for such a long time in so many, like in quite a few cultures. Also, the Celtics use it a lot. If you go to Ireland, Scotland, UK, they'll use a lot of it. So yeah, and it just made me feel a bit like that. So this song is I Am My Mother's Savage Daughters. It's written by Karen L. Unrein and Gwyneth, I think it's pronounced Börensdottir. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And we're going to actually play the original. So the quality is not amazing, but it's really worth it.
It's savage.
It's a savage. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for that song or poem almost. So we're just going to quickly touch on the wunderlauch. So the wunderlauch, which grows here, the Berliner Bärlauch, is actually a cousin of the wild garlic and is classified as an invasive plant here. And it came from people planting it in gardens and private gardens, and then it is just taken over. And if you've been to Planterwald, you can see how it takes over the forest. It looks beautiful, but of course, it then causes an issue for other plants to grow because it really is quite overwhelming. It originates, from what I found, is native to northern and northern-eastern Iraq, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and southern Russia. I'm sure there are some other places, and they use it a lot in cooking. I did read that in Iran they're actually using it, or traditionally they use it for acne, which would make a lot of sense as this antimicrobial kind of thing. And I didn't find any information how they prepare it, whether it's like a topically or not. And then I found a very interesting article, or a few articles, about it being studied in recent years for anti-malarial. So that's an interesting point. Didn't find too much on it, but there was a little bit, but I did find that quite interesting. Otherwise, it's used a lot in food.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't find a whole lot of stuff on medicinal uses, and also probably because I can't speak Arabic. Yeah. You probably would if you're there. Maybe in Russia you would as well. Yeah,
makes sense. I assume they used it in a way how we are using Allium ursinum because they're very, very similar. And I doubt, the ingredients, the contents of them are quite similar. Both have this sulfur-based essential oil, this allicin that is super antimicrobic, antibacterial. The traditional use, how we used Allium ursinum here, was to cook it in milk against lung infections. That was the way how we treated lung infections. And now, which is quite interesting, there are new studies on cytotoxic use, so killing cancer cells, and it seems to be quite effective. So it's quite new studies. There's not been a lot, but so that's always very, very interesting to dig into that. Yeah, I think we talked how we can restore our gut flora. We can use it in respiratory conditions and for stomach and gallbladder issues and this kind of thingy. So we definitely recommend it. Go outside, inform yourself what you pick, how you pick it. And here in Planter Wild, it's quite safe to go for the few-flowered leek.
Yeah, great. Food is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
The leaves do look a little bit can look like some other flower plants here, but yeah, just as Philip said, recognize it, know it, and only pick what you need.
Yeah, maybe we do a little recipe time now. So we're going to show you how to make white garlic tincture inspired by this beautiful herbal woman, Ursel Bühring. You just gather fresh wild garlic leaves, rinse them, chop them, fill them in a jar, loosely to the top with the leaves full, and put alcohol on top of it, 40%, 45%. If you can find bio alcohol, that's always great. If you don't, use vodka that you have home. Bring it, let it sit in a bright, warm place for around 3 weeks, and every now and then give it a little swirl with the intention of healing. That's always a good thing. After that, strain it, put it in a dark glass, and store it in a cool, shaded place. And now you have a very beautiful, potent tincture that you can use for all the things that we talked about. I use it for my gut restoration or gut care because it doesn't need to be restored at the moment. And yeah, very, very easy way to already get it prepared for the next year, because sometimes you're not free to find fresh leaves, or the year hasn't been great for them growing or whatever.
Yeah.
So use the time now and prepare your tincture.
Good way to make it. And it's a really great one to ferment.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way you can also keep it. Both of the plants make great ferments, or a great pesto, which you can also freeze. But the ferment, and I found a nice recipe from Galway Wild Foods. He has some great stuff on his website. He's very well knowledged in wild foods and the amazing recipes sometimes he puts on there. And he did a kimchi-styled few flavored leek, which I haven't tried yet, but I found it quite interesting because it was super simple. And I think you could do it maybe with the wild garlic as well. It was just the wunderlauch with a bit of that chili that they use, mm-hmm. and ginger. And that was all. And then he just lacto fermented it. Super easy. And then it keeps you could use that in winter this year if you, yeah.
Oh man, I recently just put it into dumplings.
I did that with my brother.
So amazing, yeah.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah. I just made my first borek on the weekend with it.
Getting hungry talking about this. Okay. Let's switch to our interview. And I want to introduce you our guest today. And she carries something of the wild forest in her, much like the bärlauch that we have been talking about. So this wild garlic or bear's leek is no ordinary herb, as we just heard. It's the first green to push through the forest, fearless and full of life. In ancient traditions, it was sacred to the bear. As we talked about, the great northern guardian, the symbol of strength, of intuition and awakening. And that same bear who was said to emerge from the cave each spring and seek out bärlauch, first to cleanse, heal and renew after a long winter. And it's the same with Olga. Olga Graf, she carries the same energy. She was born in Siberia. She brings the grounded power of the north, just like the Bärlauch. She's a harbinger of transformation. Olga moves through systems, cultural, ecological, institutional, and gently but persistently cracks them open, making space for fresh growth. Just like the Bärlauch, who grows in vibrant, interconnected clusters beneath the forest canopy, Olga is a weaver of networks. From urban canteens to rural kitchens, from market halls to grain fields, her work brings people, soil, and sustenance back into dialogue. Olga is a strategist, a grower, a designer of food futures, and today we get to sit in the green glow of her vision. So our guest today is Olga Graf. Very happy to have you here. Olga is a Berlin-based service designer, researcher, and sustainability strategist with a focus on the food sector since 2012. She founded and led Food Companions GmbH, offering consultancy on sustainable, human-centered food systems. Olga co-developed the Kantine Zukunft program, improving plant-based and organic options in public canteens in Berlin, Brandenburg, and Saxony. She also co-founded Corn Labor in 2021 to promote grain diversity and launched Bake for Ukraine in 2022 to support Ukraine bakers and grain farmers. She was the head of sustainability at Dussmann Service GmbH. She helped scale plant-based initiatives globally, earning recognition for the plant-based program. And in May from this year, Olga will become the CEO of Markthalle 9, where she aims to further shape Berlin's urban food landscape with a focus on regionality, small-scale production, and community engagement. That's quite an impressive CV that we're having here. Olga, we're very, very happy to have you here. Hi.
Hi. Wow, when you read it that way, that sounds pretty huge.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, but yeah.
It's always great when people talk about you.
Yeah, isn't it?
Well, it feels actually a little bit weird, a little bit like too blown up, but thanks for all the honey.
So we're just going to jump right in. Olga, your work with Kantine Zukunft focused on creating sustainable and forward-thinking food systems. As we are working with wild garlic, it is a potent plant with a strong network-like growth, thriving in its natural environment. Do you see parallels between the resilient nature of wild garlic and the necessary resilience required to build a nature-proofed food system?
What a beautiful connection, actually, with the wild garlic. Yeah, I would totally see that because the program Kantine Zukunft was actually inspired from a program in Denmark, in Copenhagen. And basically, they are like 15 years ahead to us here in Berlin. And I mean, it started all with them. And then from there, it like basically spread out to Germany and even further. So like this... I mean, it's like the roots, or like the how do you call it? The rhizome.
Mm-hmm. Like the root system.
The root system. Thanks. So it's like the root system that has been growing. And when we started in Berlin in 2019, and then scaled in, let's say in 2023 to Brandenburg, this is really like this. It really shows how it grew out of Berlin. So it grew out from the urban city into the rural or more rural landscapes. And there we only were able to actually run the program over there because there was a community before, or like people before, who created this really fruitful ground. And this whole like really engaged, motivated people created the opportunity for us to actually run a very successful program there within 2 years. And part of these people was actually a politician from the Social Democrats. There were politicians from the Green Party, but there was also, for example, the Civil Council for Nutrition. And I mean, without them, there would never have been like the opportunity to do it. And this created really a resilience, even after this program is finished for now, because we are waiting for another funding. But it's really like thanks to them that it started. And I think that also like their efforts will lead this into the future, even with or without Kantine Zukunft and Speiseräume. Speiseräume is the company that runs Kantine Zukunft.
You already mentioned the root system of the plant we're working with, or like your kind of root system in general. And so the wild garlic plant itself, it spreads very rapidly with a very vibrant network within the forest ecosystem. And networking is a crucial part of your work, connecting people, ideas to drive to positive change. Maybe can you share a story about a valuable connection that you made through your work and how that connection helped you to cultivate new growth and opportunities in your project?
I think my whole career is based on these wonderful people that I have met along my path. So, yeah, and I would actually like to go back to a very early stage of my career, which was in, let me see, it was in 2015, I think. So I was doing a research project at the HPI School of Design Thinking, and there was a guy from a foundation who gave us a project. So like he was funding the project, and it was on, this is like the future of butchery. So a bit of a different topic that I'm working on today, but yeah. So we've done this research program, this research project on this topic, developed a format and started working with butchers. And actually, this guy from the foundation, his name is Frank Kühne, he was the first guy to actually like really hire me for a big project. And from then on, I mean, we are still in touch until today. And through him, also like Food Companions had really some of the greatest jobs, actually. So this is just one person who has been with me ever since, and he keeps reappearing, and we're still in touch. And yeah, I mean, he's just really one example. But I do really think that meeting people and like, you know, talking about the right things with the right people has really brought me to where I am today, also to Kantine Zukunft. So we had this one project, which again happened thanks to Frank Kühne. It was a like future studies on how would the future canteens of universities look like. So we create like future scenarios. And then a lady from the Green Party came to our presentation. And after that, she said, hey, I think you should meet Philipp Stierand. He's planning to do like a big program in Berlin. Philipp Stierand is the CEO of Speiseräume, who now runs Kantine Zukunft. So like you see, and the funny thing is that this is all connected in a way, and it's always like a bit like domino, you know. Yeah,
like the connected root system.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely. And it feels to me like I can track back so many of these encounters. So yeah, it's
also about keeping the earth, really, like also giving that earth, which is the people you know for many years, giving that, like, you know, good food also, so the roots can grow. So keeping your relationships quite
and also
healthy,
nourishing those relationships.
Yeah, nourishing is a good word.
Yeah.
Nice. And in a way, you're already connected, but you just don't know it's working in the same field. Which with the rhizome, it's basically the same things. Maybe they don't know of each other. But
yeah, exactly.
You're already doing the same, which is quite beautiful.
I like that with you as well. So wild garlic, as we all know, has an extremely pungent flavour.
Oh, yes.
Although when you pick it young, I've just picked some very young, it is much more sweet, but we can add that into the question, into our life. It's quite a bold ingredient when you're using it. And when you're using it correctly, it can really elevate a dish or either overpower a dish. In your various projects, from Bake for Ukraine to exploring the future of food, what's a bold ingredient? And I am doing, I don't even know what that is in English.
Air quotes.
Doing air quotes. A bold ingredient, a concept, a collaboration, or an approach that you have yourself incorporated into the projects which you feel has enhanced it, like wild garlic could really enhance a meal.
So may I first say that I actually had some wild garlic for breakfast.
Oh, she's in the vibe.
and like wild garlic is really like a flavor of my childhood. I've been foraging it with my mother and my grandmother. So it's like, I was really happy when I read that we're actually, talking about wild garlic in a way. So yeah, a bold ingredient. I mentioned that word before, and I'm not getting tired of repeating it. It's I've been working with all these like programs, a lot of like transformation processes that take a long time. And I think that the most important ingredient is the human centeredness. So you really like you cannot take I'll refer back to Continued Zukunft. You cannot take the same program from Copenhagen and just put it onto Berlin. So it's not going to work. You really you have to look what is the situation here on all different levels. So like what are the canteens like? What are their challenges? What are politics like? And so on. And then you really have to work with the people. And I also don't like so much the word consulting, although it appears a lot in my biography, because I think it's more like coaching and guiding people. So because I never see myself like the person who knows it all, but rather the person who knows how to organize processes, how to listen to people, and how to really identify the opportunity fields. And how to prioritize these opportunity fields. And I think this has been my main ingredient actually throughout all those years. And I think it works.
So it sort of sounds like you know your strengths, actually. You know your strengths and where maybe there's a slight weakness, and you really bring the strengths out within your work, kind of like the wild garlic does. It knows it's got a strong odor and a strong smell, and that's where it really shines.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that beautiful transition to our next question, because we are exploring in our radio show the medical medicinal uses of the plants in our everyday life, and wild garlic has this strength part in it. It's the garlic of the bear, if we don't translate it in German. So that's a very strong animal behind it. And maybe you can talk a little bit about principles that you use of health, of mindfulness, healthy living in your professional work, and also in your private life that give you that inner strength that we just found out that you're already having.
I do identify a little bit with the bear.
Oh, nice.
So garlic and bear, that's my thing. No. The Siberian bear. So to be honest, I do feel like I do fail a lot in that because I tend to believe I'm a strong bear and that I can do everything and I can do a lot. I know I can do a lot, but I shouldn't be doing everything. So there are two things, like two really like basic needs that I would try to never compromise on, which is sleep and good food. So no matter how stressed I am, I will not compromise on food. So I'll take the time for it. And I will if I don't have the time to make the food myself, I'll definitely make sure that if I eat out well. So I think healthy food has actually helped me a lot. And at the moment, I am in this in-between zone between the two jobs because I'm starting a new one in a few weeks, and I'm off at the moment. And I am trying to really reflect upon my way of working, because I don't want to repeat several things that put me into a very stressful situation again, or being stressed a lot. And I have been doing this from time to time. So basically, I've been trying once a year at least to really have a little bit of a break, have a little bit of a reset. So last year I went to the south of Germany, and I was doing like a fasting course. A fasting, is that
retreat,
correct?
fasting
retreat, yeah. A fasting retreat. The year before, I moved into a really small town for a month, and I lived there on my own, all alone. So I'm always trying to find a way, at least once a year, where I have to really stop my habits, stop what I'm doing, and reflect and try to improve it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I fall back into my old habits and traps and triggers. But I do believe that it's really important, particularly for people who have a really high workload and who are permanently running to actually reflect on this running.
Yeah, beautiful.
Sounds very bear-like.
Oh yeah,
This kind of like hibernating
Exactly.
time, but like longer periods, and then going out
Yeah.
into the world and like getting the power, and then retreating back.
Eating wild garlic
Eating
to get
wild-
the get
guys,
power
I'm
back,
almost
yeah.
afraid how much I actually identify with the bear and the wild
Just-
garlic.
Olga's spirit animal.
Yeah.
I
Olga
think
the bear.
I
And
think
one
it's
of the
bear.
mightiest spirit animals
Really?
out there. Yeah, it's the
Beautiful
protector of
one.
the forest and like all nature.
Oh
So,
yeah,
like,
I think the
you are-
protector.
come on.
I think I'm a protector.
Definitely.
I'm definitely a protector type. Wow.
Thanks for
Olga,
that.
Olga the Great. We're
my
going to
God.
call you from now on.
Please, please don't.
So you are just about to step into a new job, which is
Yeah.
very exciting. Olga is just about to become the CEO of Markthalle 9. For people outside of Berlin, Markthalle 9 is a beautiful space here in Berlin, revolving all around food. We want to ask you a practical question
Oh, wow.
involving this new job. If you were to create a dish featuring wild garlic that reflects your vision, because as you're just standing in for Markthalle 9, a sustainable, innovative, community-focused place, what would that dish be, and what message would you want to portray to the people that would feast on this dish?
Love this question. It would definitely be a seasonal and very simple dish. Simplicity, because I learned throughout my work with Kantine Zukunft that simple dishes can keep the costs very low, and you can make simple dishes like really, really good. And that's why I think I would choose. So we are now in April, right? So I think I would choose like different rooty vegetables. So probably still the ones that have been stored from last season. They would be roasted, and they would go with like a heavy cream or like kvaak. I don't know if there is any translation to kvaak.
No, I don't
This
think
is
there
so
is.
special. It's like something in between cream cheese and cream cheese and what? Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. This is
And yogurt. It's not
yogurt.
even yogurty.
It's completely
Very difficult.
It's completely untranslatable. Sorry for everyone not German out there, but yeah, it would probably be some kvaak with wild garlic and some flaxseed oil. So it would be a very, very simple dish, but it would be very nourishing and very accessible. And I think that this aspect of accessibility is, to me, also very important for Markthalle 9, because it is a place that is polarizing in different ways. Like, of course, tourists are coming there. Of course, there is expensive food in there, but there is also cheaper food. And that's why it would be very important for me to create a dish that is actually accessible flavor-wise, price-wise, and just concept-wise. So I think everybody could have like very simple access to a dish like that.
Amazing.
Beautiful. It's got a little bit of everything. Sustainability from using the stuff you've already got, a bit of the freshness from something new.
Yeah, and I love
And
the
nutrition.
accessibility. Yeah.
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 And the nutrition value. This is lovely.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much more time we have, Philip.
We are completely
Dished, as we say in German. Is there something just really small you'd like to, like a sentence, you'd like to share with our audience to close up?
Oh, wow. Yes. Don't be afraid to do things that you've never done before. I mean, yeah, it sounds just maybe too general, but if I look back on my path, it's always been about courage to do something I've never done before, and to just trust that I can learn how to do it, and just build up like a how do you say Selbstbewusstsein. Please help me with that.
Confidence.
Yeah, just build up a confidence. Step by step.
I like that. It's very simple. It's also always a good reminder for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing new, but I mean,
Keep it simple and just do things you haven't done.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
So if you would like to find Olga, you can find her on Instagram. We'll also have it in our show notes on, everywhere where we post it. She has some great projects. If you look on her Instagram thing, Olga Graf, you will find Corn Labor, Bake for Ukraine. She does some really amazing projects, so you can find her there. Here's her song, which we are actually going to introduce, and it is called From Paulina, or Paulina.
Paulina. Yeah.
Paulina, and it's called The Earth is Burning.
Thank you, Paulina. Thank you for tuning in to our radio show of this month, talking about ramsons or the beautiful white garlic. This was Herbie at Heart, and we are happy to invite you to come over to at our praxis at Mommsenstraße. You find us there. You also find us on Instagram. You find Tash. We are Avant Garden Life. You find me. We are Power Plants Berlin. And if you want to find yourself, contact us.
Yeah, we like to help people do that. So, and we will finish today.
In Bärlauchzeit.
Herbie at Heart, Herbie by Nature.